Hey, namaste, everyone, and welcome to Soul Mirrors. Be amazed. And I am your co-host, your weekly co-host, Kira Raa. And you may have already noticed there is a wonderfully handsome, unique looking gentleman right next to me. He is tonight's co-host. We're going to get back to him in just a moment. You all know him. He is my beautiful beloved Sri Ramka. And this is an extraordinary moment. It is a moment that is so incredible, as Mercury has now said, I am retrograde, baby. And this one came on really fast, didn't it? Today was one of those days where you just had to smile at how much Mercury was waving at you all day long and saying, remember, I am here. And I was saying, yeah, and I am ready. And so are you. So what's going on in this moment? You know, here we are. Happy Halloween to all of you who celebrate Halloween, All Hallows Eve. Around here in Ecuador, it's a big moment. Everybody has the weekend off because it is the Day of the Dead tomorrow, a really big traditional family celebratory moment, a big weekend. And so there is a moment of rebirth at hand. And this Mercury retrograde, in combination with the timing of its saying, I am here, is one that is igniting mastery presence without any doubt at all. And this energy is going to be tying into the November energy. There is so much to share that my beloved Sri and I are actually doing a triple feature this weekend. There is today, right now, kind of episode 1 of this November energy, starting with what's going on with this Mercury retrograde and how that's really going to influence us. And then this weekend, we will be during our show on Saturday, which is also right here at tfrlive.com, Explore the Mysteries at 1 p.m. Pacific time. Please join us as we continue and expand this conversation. And then we are going to wrap up this conversation on Sunday at noon Pacific time as well. So a lot going on. And before we go any further, I'm watching the call board just ding, ding, ding. Please get in there now. 517-208-1500. Again, 517-208-1500. And as we begin going into this extraordinary Mercury retrograde weekend, as we really begin looking at this November energy, I want to invite us all to bring our hands to our heart. And I, of course, want to welcome this week's extraordinary and very magically special co-host, my beloved husband, Sri Ramka. And it really felt appropriate for Sri to be together, for us to be together, to discuss what's going on as humanity comes forward this weekend. You know, this kind of, the word we're looking at, is we're calling it density anxiety, is trying to pair off or square off against ascension experiences. And that can be a fascinating journey, especially since here we are on this culminating moment, in this culminating moment of October, where if not now, when, and if not you, who is really asking you to step up and pay attention. And I think that's the first gift of the Mercury retrograde, Sri, is that it forces us to pay attention. And welcome, Sri Ramka.
Well, thank you. This is a show that Kira has put a lot of love and intelligence and energy into. And, you know, I'm smiling because this show began as really an outlet for feminine voices and empowered representatives. And then it became clear, I believe, that not all feminine voices are in a feminine body.
Right.
Not all empowered voices are gender specific.
Right. It transcends all of that.
And so to be a soul mirror is indeed to be in your authenticity. And that when we reside in our authenticity, we are indeed mirroring for each other.
In every way.
So I was delighted when Kira said, would you mind being my co-host for Halloween? I say, okay, that's our party.
It is our party. And hey, I hope you're having your party tonight as well. So Sri, I really want to dive into the fact, number one, hey, we are over at YouTube, guys. And where are we tell everybody where we are tonight.
Okay, the show is being broadcast at official Shri and Kira YouTube channel. You'll find it there. You'll also find it at Facebook. And the video is also live streaming at the homepage of Oneness Talk Radio. Just scroll down to the bottom and click on the picture where there's the little play button, and voila.
And voila. So if you prefer to be watching, you'll notice Shri and I are both, we were carefully preparing our beverages because in the spirit of the Soul Mirrors experience, it's one of those grab your favorite beverage and hang out with us and let's really talk about what's going on in this energy. So let's dive in, Shri, because this is just such a momentous moment. You know, here we are at October 31. Well, I think before we go any further, it's important to recognize that this is a really in-depth moment to say, have I looked at this 19-year cycle? Am I paying attention to what's come forward? Am I looking at what has resurfaced? You know, what is showing itself to me? You know, and how does that look? And what is the lesson that it's trying to teach me?
Well, the 19-year cycle is truly still a gift to be harvested, because we have all gone, let's just say we've cycled around to the summit.
Yes.
And like the full moon, the summit has a span of time, that summit energy. So you are at a wonderful position of being able to claim your window seat for the next cycle, to be able to claim that which you wish to manifest. You know, and I know for myself, as I reflected on the 19-year cycle for me, back at the year 2000 was a year of launching myself more fully into the surrender of the path of mastery. It was, you know, the word launch for me is particularly potent, because I spent a lot of that year on a boat. And so it's important to take a look at what was the energy that each of you were working with or calling forward.
I want to talk about your time on the boat, because that was when you were single-handling. A lot of you may not know that my beloved husband single-handed the inside passage of Alaska on his sailboat, all alone out in the wilderness. And you really had some, like, you know, bring me to the brink.
Captain Dan moments.
Literally experiences. And I guess the reason I want to share that is, so as you would look at your 19-year cycle, you know, that pre-Kira, the pre-K area, right there 19 years ago, which was only, I was going to say it was only about 13, 14 months before we actually got together, less, maybe only about a year before we actually were together. What is revealing itself to you in this moment? How are you noticing those nuances? How is that playing out for you?
Well, for me, that's why I chose the word launch, because it had a personal potency. For me, what I'm noticing is what's happening right now at this signal is I feel like I'm rebirthing, reinventing, resurrecting Shri and Kira. I feel like this is something we're collaborating on, and that it's like, if not now, when means, have you given your all to your world service? Have you given your all to your mission? And if not, well, when will you?
Well, now breathe that in.
And so that's the launch, to go further, to go more committed, more expanded, more passionate, launch into that which you took birth to do. And that's what I do.
Well, and as you're saying that, it's kind of taking my breath away, because what I hear when you share that is, what you're saying is, okay, that experience 19 years ago launched me into really what I would call, in all honesty, guys, the most authentic part of your life. It was like that moment where that onion skin finally came off and you were like, wait a minute, I am so grateful for the life that I've had, because I'm aware of the life I'm moving into now. And so that would have been your awareness moment. And then I look at it, the rest of that has been the experience moment. And then here's what's so profound, guys. All of humanity, the planet, everyone is in the overarching energy of November is choice. And Shri and I are going to be talking a lot about this on Sunday.
That's what's coming.
A lot. And in the Mercury retrograde energy, what it is really about, first and foremost, is respect. Now, respect is a fascinating energy, and it's not just respect, and it's not that densified, like you will respect me, although that will show if you're in a 3D experience. Meaning, think about the word respect. For me, it morphs into reverence. Right? Like, so for me, when I am connected with the word respect, I immediately feel a depth of reverence. And this reverence is really going to be that multidimensional experience of November. It's going to be an opportunity through respect, meaning anchoring the physical form in an energy of respect, to be able to have revealed, right, which is going to be happening all over the place in November, reverence.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah,
Or can I just give the or?
Oh,
And
the or.
here's the quick or.
We're
and
rowing.
then hold that straight. So here's the quick or. The quick or is, or that respect is going to be, you will respect me come hell or high water, and you might not like the way I make you do it. So there's going to be this respect into reverence,
yes,
or a respect that will be demanded. And that's just one of the trinity of those energies that this retrograde is coming in. And Sri and I have two more we're going to be talking about tonight as well. But you can see where this is going. And hey, I can also see there might be a couple lines left in the call board. We're really full. Get in there. 517-208-1500.
There's no logical order.
There's no logical order.
It's not first come, first served. It's just be here and be part of it.
Exactly. And hey, speaking of being here and being a part of it, go ahead, Sri.
I just wanted to offer, because, well, we attention spans being what they are.
Goldfish, 9 seconds.
We were talking about respect. It's important to recognize that these words carry a meaning and a wisdom. To respect, as Kira shared, is offering an opportunity to look with greater reverence, to revere, to look deeper. Yeah. And one of the things the Ascended Ones share with us, to respect means to look again. To look again means to look deeper, to respect. And so it's important, as we kind of consider the retrograde energy and the respect, that from the eyes of density, respect is often interpreted as thou shalt comply. Okay, do it my way or get on the highway. I almost
spit out my tea. I'm so sorry.
So,
I mean, it's true. It's just, I don't know why it's tickling me, but it is.
You got to kind of check inside a little bit.
Yeah, you do.
And say, okay, if I'm in the energy of respect, it doesn't mean I'm sitting up nice and being quiet in the pew at church. It means I am looking with the eyes of my heart open.
Yeah.
That's respect.
Yeah.
And sometimes we have to look again or look deeper, because the lenses of density sometimes impose themselves very sneakily.
I love that. The lenses of density sometimes impose themselves very sneakily. So
there's a bumper sticker.
There is. And so I do want to let all of you know too that our beloved Bria Rose, and I know a lot of you have known Bria from the chat room. As a matter of fact, I've seen her over here in the Oneness Talk Radio chat room this evening, and she might also be chatting over at YouTube at Official Sri and Kira channel. Bria has moved in. Yay! She is our first resident here other than Sri and I, and she is living in the clinic in the River House, and really an honor to have Bria here. And y'all have probably, some of you have already been interacting with Bria. You might see her in some of our emails, but Bria is our on-site guest services coordinator. So check out tosabluemountain.com and get to know Bria, who will make sure that everything that you are looking for can be done and then some. We love to under promise and over deliver. So that's really one of our gifts. And so I just had to share that we're just so happy Bria is here, and invite our community to welcome her here as well. So any of you coming to visit us, you will meet Bria Rose, and believe me, that is a treat and an honor. And so Sri, I wanted to go back to this mastery moment, because what is your 19-year cycle revealed to you? And I think it's kind of fascinating that in this night, where the energy for a lot of people around the world is to put on a mask, we're really being invited to take one off.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And if you take your mask off, some people will think you're in costume.
Exactly. Look at us.
Because anything out of the ordinary is considered a costume, right?
It is so true.
So,
you know it's true.
You know, I kind of feel like the ultimate Halloween costume would be to take off all your clothes and go trick or treating, but that
All
won't
right,
last
baby,
long.
we're on it. No, it won't. No, it
No,
won't.
that might not be kind to others. So, but the point of the matter is authenticity has a nakedness to it.
Yeah.
And then we're not talking about a physical nakedness.
No, we're talking about the blessing of you.
Yeah, the transparency that comes with that.
Yeah, you know, in every single way. And I think it's important, Sri, to recognize that in many ways, this Mercury retrograde, remember that the first energy of this retrograde right now is this respect energy. And so as Sri and I were just talking about the respect into the reverence and all of the other things, what's interesting is that through this respect energy will come, I promise you, a remembrance that will take you to a place you have never been before. And I lose my breath sharing that with you. And like I said, there's a trinity of these energies that is just now here's why this is such a big month. And look for our video, our November Ascension Energy Forecast will be published at YouTube tomorrow at Official Sri and Kira. Make sure you pay attention and watch that video as well, because this trinity of energy that Sri and I are speaking of this evening is just the beginning. This is just the Mercury retrograde overlay. And so imagine that inside it's kind of like this is a little I don't know, it's like this beautiful co-creative spiral that's inside of this entire crystalline matrix that is in the moment of extraordinary expansion. And so the respect into reverence, or the respect into really a very controlled, demanding type energy, is one of the energies that'll play out during the retrograde. And you know what the next one is? It's the remembrance. Now, I think we can very obviously say the remembrance, this is going to be a double-edged sword for a lot of people. And this is why we've been talking a lot about those small voices, you know, the ones that keep trying to pull you. If you did not listen to our shows last weekend, please go listen to our shows.
A lot of good info.
A lot of good info. We read some incredible information from the divine directors. But I think that this is an important moment. My husband's touching me saying, shut up, Kira.
No,
so
I'm
I'll shut up.
you
There we
saying
go.
I agree.
Oh, okay. Okay. I misread the signal.
So, but remembrance is one of those things. It's another one of those words that goes deeper. Just like respect, we offered a deeper understanding.
Yeah.
So to remember does not mean to dwell in nostalgia.
No.
And so the density understanding of remember is to hang out.
The small voices.
Is the small voices that are hanging out in the linear reality.
So
remember that which was just before.
And remember that which hurt you. Remember that which made you afraid. Remember that which has stopped you from doing what you think you're getting ready to do. This is a moment. This is a divine moment where that remembrance in the world of density is going to wreak havoc with a lot of people's emotional body, because that density alignment to remembrance is one that likes the fear, enjoys the drama, and has an extraordinary payoff in keeping itself alive. So what's the contrary to that? What's the opposite of that? Is, or the expansion of that is when we anchor in the multidimensional presence of the fifth dimension, that remembrance becomes exponential. And not only are you inviting your own exponential remembrance, but those who are around you that are tracking with you will start exponentially. You will exponentially. And I know what that, it is two, and it could be more. And I get how this can sound, but this is why November is so extraordinary, because it's going to show the polar opposites of exponential expansion. And so you know what this is setting the stage for, guys. And this is why the October full circle experience. Are you paying attention to what's in front of you right now? Are you allowing that small voice when it comes up? May I share something?
Please,
okay.
Yeah.
I had a beautiful, the divine directors basically every day. And one of the things that came in today that was so divine was, it was like I felt myself like I was writing it, and I haven't yet. So you guys are the first people I'm sharing this with. And what they said was, it is not that the guru it is not that the guru does not get triggered. It is that the guru knows how to mitigate the experience. And so you are the master, you are the guru. And just because you get triggered does not mean that you are not enlightened. And it does not mean that you have failed. And it does not mean that you have done anything wrong on your journey. And I'm sharing this with you right now in what might seem like being out of context, because in November, it's going to be such a vast experience on both sides. Because remember, we're in a choice month, that they're going to, you see how they're coming together? They're even going to flow in different directions, but they are going to literally collide in late November. And then they will drift, but they will have a new trajectory. And so as we start the cycle of the experience of November, that will be a choice. And as we pay attention to this Mercury retrograde, this is a moment to jump on and say yes. And that's why it's so important to really dig in on this night, maybe if you're watching us live, where instead of putting on a mask, take off the mask you're already wearing and see what's there. And if you don't know what that looks like, try that on as your costume. Be it. Why not let your experience of a night of dressing up be the gift of you?
The gift of you. You know, all of this kind of circles around that word enlightenment a little bit.
It's like a spiral.
And you know what? I just want to offer, because many people always feel that the path to enlightenment is virtually impossible to climb, kind of thing.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
And while there is effort or challenge along the way because of the ego states involved, the one thing that I know is true is to remember that enlightenment is the state
Hey
Hey, we're back.
everyone, we are back, and I hope that you are still there. And we apologize. I'm just going over here to my call board, and I just want to make sure that we are good. And it looks like we are in the call board again. And let me just check over here and say, yay, thank you all for being here. Hey, so if you missed that hiccup, this is what happens, you know, Shri, Mercury retrograde. And of course, you know, when we come together, that's one of the greatest gifts of certainly this show, Soul Mirrors. Be amazed. Explore the mysteries every Saturday at 1 p.m. And of course, Shrink Here Live, the voice of passionate action, Sundays at noon, is that we come together as this extraordinary community of positivity and upliftment. And sometimes the energy gets a little intense.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it really does. And so thank you all. We do apologize for the hiccups. I know that some of you might have had some hiccuping, and we do apologize, but hopefully you hung with us, and we're just glad we're back.
Absolutely. And it's very interesting. You know, you can always find a perspective that you find nourishing. And for me, one of the perspectives is, oh, a timeout. We get to enjoy the space between things. And what we're puzzling on that part, we have no control over, namely the Wi-Fi. But we were talking about enlightenment and how committing to your path of mastery will inevitably lead you to the enlightened state of consciousness.
Yeah.
And you will be given many glimpses along the way. It's a little bit like climbing a mountain. You often see the summit. And those glimpses are inspiring. Those glimpses are renewing. And at times you're on the summit. At times you're there. And then you find yourself back on the path again. And so it's one of those things that we can smile at as an anecdote, saying each and every one of us is on our journey. And the journey is unique because you are unique.
Yeah.
And yet it is similar because we're all headed the same direction.
And whether we think we are or not, what's so beautiful is that the co-creative experience of this very moment, of this breath, of this gift of connection, is that opportunity to respect, to, every day, I do encourage you. One of my daily rituals is to make sure at least once a day, sometimes usually more, I always say thank you to the land.
Yes.
I say thank you to a bird. And I have to share with you, Sri, I haven't even told you this yet. So today I was getting ready for the show. It was about an hour ago. And right outside my office here, I have this little walkway and this gorgeous 200-year-old stone wall that I will take a picture of. I mean, with like the ivy and the moss, and it's just like magical fairyland.
Yeah.
So I was sitting there, and the two new trees we just planted.
Yeah, beautiful.
Right
Two
above
new
it,
trees.
two beautiful new trees that have like these orange bellflowers on them. And so I was sitting out there, and I at first heard this hummingbird, and it was big because, we have, like, I kid you not, humongous hummingbirds here. And Sri, I heard it come in, and I saw the tree right up here wiggling, and I was doing this. I'm like, okay, let me see you, because I was having to look through all these flowers and everything. This hummingbird, guys, not only was I just kept relaxing more into the sound of it. It was so rich with its hum. It went to every single flower on that tree, and it was midnight black. I mean, like raven black, with this gorgeous sheen of this blue.
Oh yeah,
and
that
then
luminescence.
right,
Yeah,
and then above that, emerald green.
Oh.
And it was so close to me, guys, without any fear, that I literally am watching the beak in the flower, listening to the hummingbird. And I share this with you because I sat there with my hand on my heart and thought, wow, I had exactly like 5 minutes today to just do that. But because I've made it my commitment, those 5 minutes become a lifetime's worth of experience. So are you giving yourself 5 minutes a day to really have a lifetime of experience? That's quantum experiencing. And that is nourishing for the soul. And it's one of the things that will get us through and help us maintain staying in this ascended realm in the November experience.
Yeah. And part of that is practicing presence.
Yeah, baby.
Because this hummingbird offered a wonderful opportunity. I was immediately hearing that their little motor sound.
Yeah, it's like,
but nature is full of gateways to a deeper presence.
Yeah.
Full of opportunities.
Yeah.
The sky is full of opportunities.
Oh, no comment, right?
And so it's important to remember that we all need to balance our beingness, our consciousness, through various activities, whether it's spiritual practice, and maybe that practice is arranging a vase of flowers, or simply offering love to another being, through a note or a call or whatever. It's important to honor ourselves as we undertake those activities, because they are taken with the intentionality to expand love and beauty.
I gotta jump in here, because I love what you're saying about how, remember that you can have a divine meditation doing your nails, giving yourself a facial, being in a bathtub, right? Anointing your feet. It is an opportunity that you have. And when you talk about taking care of yourself, you can light that candle, sit in bed, and just say thank you for the moment. You can go walk outside, but the key is the presence. And mastery presence is the greatest gift of illumination that is coming forward as we all walk into what will be a moment of density anxiety in November. So the key is, are you able to be part of that density anxiety, or are you able to witness it, live through it, and be the master that you are? And I want to just give a shout out to TFR Live. Hey there, guys. We kind of talked right through you guys leaving us. We are glad you are back, and welcome back. We are talking about here on Soul Mirrors this evening with my special, beautiful guest, my beloved husband, Kira Raa. We are talking about this Mercury retrograde that just began, day one. Woohoo!
Well, and just to kind of underscore what you were
Please
sharing
do.
about how these moments of presence and self-care are epitomizing the word that we opened the show with, and that's respect.
Well, there's those three energies of Mercury.
Only to remember to
Mhm.
respect yourself as you respect that which is outside, to be able to love yourself and honor your body and to honor your own need for restoration.
Yeah.
And so these are so simple, and it's just nice as we're talking about the re-energy, the respect, and the remembrance to touch into this.
There is, because this Mercury retrograde has three very specific re-energies. All of the others certainly are always there. That goes with any Mercury retrograde. However, this one, as we've already shared with you, it is a trinity that begins with respect. And each one of these energies is going to have its ascended experience and it's going to have its density experience. And here's the good news. You will immediately know by how you're experiencing these energies where you're at. You know, so many people are always asking Sri and I, how do I know I'm in the fifth dimension or higher? How do I know I'm in the third dimension? How are you experiencing respect come this month in November? The next will be remembrance. Is it the small voice that's in control, helping you remember that density can be a lot of things you might not enjoy? Or is it a greater union, right? A real union with the divine that you are? And there's one more energy as well. But you know, Sri, I'm looking at the call board. And I think before we go to that last energy, we should just invite in some of these amazing beings that are here. And so we're gonna begin right here. It looks like in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Namaste, Atlantic City. Welcome. Hi.
Don't hear you.
We don't hear or see you. You did have your hand raised, and I'm just going to mute you back again. Let's try somebody else to make sure it's our call board, although it looks like everything's working okay. Shri, we're going to go right here. It looks like, hey, we're going to go to New Mexico. Is that where I'm going to? Right there. New Mexico. Namaste, New Mexico.
Hi, namaste.
Hi, sweetheart.
Oh my goodness. I'd like to ask, I'm in the process of disconnecting from a highly toxic person and for highest good, greatest need, everyone involved. And I would love a mini soul reading, please.
Well, thank you for calling in, number one. Number two, breathe. And Shri, yeah, really, I see it, babe. Shri and I always are honored at the way that these calls work out. You know, I'm looking at the November energy right now, and we've already talked about what respect and remembrance. And then I'm looking at the fact that we're talking right now on this moment where the retrograde has just come in, and it's all about this reunion with yourself, right? So I first of all appreciate your question, because there's a lot of people going through this right now. And the way I just want to answer it is the way that these beautiful beings that are with you are answering it. And it's interesting. You have like three groups of beings, which I find very fascinating, is what's showing itself right now, since we have like these three aspects of the retrograde. And it's like they're talking in unison. And I can share with you that this closer group is very angelic in energy. And the middle group, I'm seeing it's like 12 of these beautiful beings of bright white light wearing like these capes and hoods and beautiful emanations. And then behind them, it's like this chamber, like in this huge pyramid chamber with all of this massive oneness energy. And the message they're saying is that as you continue to respect yourself more, you will remember that the greatest experience before you is the one that is igniting the master within you. And they're saying that this has been divinely timed, and that there are no accidents, and that as you move forward with greater tenacity, the certainty of your next steps will delight you. And so thank you for giving that gift to all of us tonight, my love, as well as it being given to you.
Namaste.
Thank you both.
Thank you, my
Namaste.
love.
Thank you both so much.
Thank you, sweetheart. Namaste. Many blessings. Wow, Shri. Wow. You know, my heart is just so filled with the recognition of this retrograde opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, so often people panic over retrogrades, and honestly, guys, we do not do our retrogrades based on any form of astrology. All of the energy we offer you for retrogrades is always direct information, usually from the ascended masters, the ascended realms, often from the divine directors, the benevolent ones, the blue star born. And so this energy is cosmic presence. And so when we say yes to our cosmic presence, what we say yes to is freedom from the illusion that is seeking to keep us thinking that we are limited, that we are able to be less than that which we are. And I love how September taking off that cloak of invisibility, right? Seeing the dome, October, full circle, right? And then here we are. I mean, what are you experiencing,
We're coming into the November thing.
Yeah.
We were kind of at the cusp there. And one of the things that kind of came forward for me as we've been sharing and tuning in with each of you and the messages is that anxiety is an interesting word because a lot of folks experience anxiety in various ways. There's the anxiety of leaving a relationship, toxic or not toxic.
Exactly.
There's the anxiety of unplugging from something, a job, a house, the career, even the car. That anxiety comes in many different ways.
Yeah, it does.
And one of the universal components of anxiety is it teaches us to learn how to trust that we are okay, that flow is here, that even though the content of our experience is not yet clear, the content meaning the next job, the next house, the next relationship, none of that, even though those content pieces have not yet presented themselves, the context is one of I am an eternal being having my experience, and I trust myself, I trust my guidance, I trust the divine flow. And it's a practice, because part of this juxtaposition that's coming in November is this density experience is going to heighten because there's more belief in separation in density consciousness. In ascended consciousness, you're not separated. So we just look at that aspect alone and say, well, where am I hanging out?
Right.
Am I going to hang out in the artifacts of separation?
Yeah.
And then wonder where the next whatever is coming.
Separation. I like that. Don't you like that? The artifacts of separation coming soon.
There it is. There it is. Starring an unknown player.
Yeah, no kidding.
Who's living in your mirror. Anyway, it's just fun to pause and reflect on how is it that we're manifesting these states of being. And this is not a big psychological trip. It's just to notice, what am I believing in order to result in this feeling? Am I believing that I'm not going to make it? Am I believing that I'm not enough?
Okay, this is those small voices.
Yeah.
So this is what we're talking about. And coming back to that trinity of the Mercury retrograde energy, respect, remembrance. Is it the small voices? Because it's the remembrance that is basically what all your beliefs are predicated upon. So what if you remember yourself? What if the gift, we've talked about this all month long. What if we lived in a world where we always held each other's highest expression? When we gaze at each other, when we look at each other, when we engage that soul consciousness and ignite the star consciousness presence, we see the truth of who you are. Imagine a world where that's how we each see each other, without judgment, without animosity, without the need to compete or to create any other illusions. Imagine that world right now manifested. That's what's happening. As long as you give yourself the gift of releasing the illusion that is seeking to scare the crap out of you right now. Remember that the third and fourth dimension eat fear for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And that's why the third and fourth dimension
And they're hungry.
And they are very hungry. And they are having the times of their lives, right? This is the moment for you to have the time of your life through your mastery presence. And Sri, mastery presence, time of your life. Let's go back to the call board.
Sure.
And
There's
there's so many beautiful folks here. Hey, it looks like, where was this at? We're going to, where am I? No, that's not it. I can't even read it. Oh, it's unknown. That's why I can't read it. We're going to the unknown.
All right.
We're diving in, guys. Here we are.
Welcome.
Namaste.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Okay.
We can hear you just fine, sweetheart.
Okay. So, this day, it's like I've been having a lot of, I guess, body aches and like headaches and digestive issues. And I was just wondering if you can kind of tap into that and maybe how I can align my body with digesting food better or with healthy eating. Like I know better, I know what to do better, but I don't follow through on it.
Breathe, Angel. Couple of things going on for you, sweetheart. And I know why you had to come into the call right now. Okay. First of all, in this energy of respect and remembrance, I'm going to let you know what the third energy is. The third energy is recognition. And recognition first arises through our physical body. Your physical body is speaking to you right now. And as I'm sharing with you, I'm finding that I want to bring my hands to my third chakra. And I have them, if you're watching the video, I have them so that the thumb is up, like they're together, but this thumb is up. And the reason being is that it's like a flame of ignition. They're saying that your body is seeking your guidance. It's like you're stuck. You're saying, I can't digest my life, but at the same time, I want to digest my life. And I'm really wanting to break free. But then when I talk about that, I get a pain in your heart center, honey. And so what all of these beautiful beings that, by the way, are dancing around you are saying, as I would connect with your third chakra, because that's really where it's speaking right now, they're saying, wow, and I just got mega high tones. Those of you that connect with the tones, left ear especially, I can barely hear right now. Forgive me if my voice or my volume is not correct. So my angel, these tones that are coming through for you and for all of us. They're saying, relax, receive, remember. Relax, receive, remember. Now, as I'm sharing this, I'm feeling the heart pain move to the center of the chest now. And then I'm watching the third chakra start sending out these, they're like pulse waves of light. And they're saying that these pulse waves of light are being offered as a gift for you to harvest. And that the more that you breathe deeply into the stomach, breathe in and really pull in and blow out, breathe in, breathe out, in combination with a lot of water, your body is completely dehydrated. I mean, you need to, I literally keep this huge thing by my desk and I drink 3 of these a day. I don't know, it's maybe 3 liters or more. Your body needs a lot of water right now because you're in massive transition. Just those 2 things, the breathing and the water, and the rest will come. You're going to stabilize really quickly. And I just need you to hear that this is a temporary moment and it is a power-filled moment. And thank you for the blessing of connecting with us tonight, my angel.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, my love. Namaste. Bye-bye. And Sri, I kind of let the cat out of the bag, didn't I, on that third energy? And so guys, recognition. Let's talk about it, because when we say yes to the energy of recognition, what it's saying is, I see, I am, right? It's a very big moment.
Recognition means you're awake to what your eyes are looking at.
And, in all dimensions. Yeah, exactly. Which eyes?
Because to recognize is to say my consciousness is active.
Right.
And this is important. And that means I'm in presence. and that means I'm in respect. So you look at how they all tie together. It's important that we each carry with us an intention to see everything at its best. This doesn't mean we're judging what's good and what's bad. It means I'm holding presence for the beauty of the authentic you to emerge. I'm holding presence for the beauty of Gaia to be recognized.
Yeah.
And that in alone is a cultivation and is a practice. The other thing I was just thinking about, our beautiful caller was talking about wanting to shift some things in her life.
Right.
I think we can all relate to that.
Yes.
And it's another thing that I've noticed along the way is the more we can notice what we're doing right, so-called right, meaning the positive things, the more that they'll come. So we focus on little things like, oh, what would be my highest, what's in my highest good to do or be right now?
Yeah.
What would really serve me in this moment? As I'm selecting the foods for my dinner, what would be really good? As opposed to say, I have to follow a rule. I have to follow a diet or whatever. That's a nasty word. How about let's say, I choose to nourish myself with joy in this moment. Oh, that kind of lightens it up a little bit.
Well, and what Sri and I have been finding, and I know a lot of you have been writing in and commenting on how we look physically, and thank you, that's just so kind. But what we have discovered is that the more that you say yes to your mastery, the faster your body normalizes. I myself have released a ridiculous amount of weight in less than about 30 days. And this gift is a combination of, yes, I am eating very differently these days, and the fact that the more that I have said yes, and I have talked about this with all of you, but the more that I have said yes, the more keeps coming. And I will share that you get to I certainly have been in a balancing point with it, like, wow, okay, universe will never give you more than you can handle. Universe will never give you more than you can handle.
Are you sure?
And I'm really back in that mantra again. I'm like, okay, never give me more than I can handle. Never give me more than I can handle. But sometimes, guys, even I take it a breath at a time. Sometimes even one day at a time is just a little daunting, isn't it? Sometimes it's just about, okay, I'm going to get through this breath, and then I'm going to remember who I am, right? And it begins with that respect. I'm going to respect the presence, taking me into my reverence, so that my remembrance ignites, thereby my recognition of the divine presence that is gifting this body of form with illumination can arise. That's November. Take that in. I mean, that's like, hey guys, shout it from the mountaintops, right? That's November if you just say yes to yourself. And just the opposite is going to be playing out. Remember, it's the wax on, wax off month. It's going to be two opposite circles of experience of the same energies. And recognition and density is often a moment of, oh my God, what have I done? Oh my God, what am I seeing? Oh my God, how did this happen? Oh my God, where am I? Who am I? And so the more of us that can, and Sri and I keep talking about this in every show, that can really say, okay, together we are better. This is a moment of collective courage. The more of us that do this and hold each other's hands, the more we can be there for those who will look up and get that that is how their soul has had to awaken, is through whatever that experience is going to be. The key is, can you be anchored enough in your mastery presence to be there for them when they raise their hand and say, I am ready.
And I'm here and I'm with you.
Guide me.
So often the work of self-ascension, which isn't work, it's a decision to accept joy into your life. But for many people, the whole concept of joy feels a little out of place because they're in the habit of less than, in the habit of lack, in the habit of having a pain-based reality. And that habit is reinforced by mass society because that's the stuff that Madison Avenue thrives on. That's the stuff that self-help books thrive on. That's the stuff that every institution out there wants, because
It keeps you trapped.
as long as you're in some form of lack consciousness,
Well, conformity
then
consciousness.
it's easier to
Absolutely.
Induce conformity.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
And it's easier for hierarchy to exist, and everyone that likes hierarchy, of course, which side of it do you want to be on? And then there's that stress. So density.
It's so true. I'm more important. Who's more important? Take
I'm
that
losing,
in.
you know?
I mean, really, guys, really, does it matter? I mean, really, does it matter? Can we just love and honor each other? It's so much easier.
And it's so important to remember, you don't have to dress a certain way or look a certain way. What is,
or you can,
or not. The key is, does it bring you joy?
Bingo.
As you are engaging whatever it is, your work, your loved ones, your art, what you're adorning your body with today. Is there a sense of joy there? Because if so, you are on track with your authenticity. And if not, why?
Well, right. And if not you, who? We are playing with you, but at the same time, we're hoping you're laughing with us and experiencing the gift that we are doing our best to share with you. Shri, we have so many people on hold. All right, we're going to, it looks like Pacifica, California. Hey, namaste, Pacifica, California.
Hi, this is Lori.
Hi,
How are
Lori.
you?
We are well, sweetheart. Hi.
I'm calling to see if you could give me a reading. I'm a little uncertain of how to move forward. There's every area of my life is up right now in not a good way.
I see it. Yeah, no, I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
I know we've talked about it before, and right now it's really, I don't know.
Well, sweetheart.
At a tipping point, I feel.
Yeah, well, I think that's very accurate. I agree. Yeah, it is. However, the entire planet's at this tipping point right now. When I gaze at you right now, when I connect with your energy, it's like I see you and you're on, it's funny. It's like you're on one of those boards on a wheel, and you're doing this, but then your wheel is on top of like the world. And there's this huge network is the word I'm going to say around you. And the energy that I'm seeing clearly, and what they're saying is, get off, just stop. They're saying, you know how to do this. They're like, just stop. And that the minute you do, it's going to kind of blow your mind what's going to happen. And so they're saying, this is your moment, and you can jump, literally stop and watch and let it unfold. And then you become the orchestrator of the unfoldment, or you're going to keep doing this for a little while. And honestly, honey, that's going to get really old. And so it's a choice moment. I get it. And so they're saying, just stop. and they're being very serious. Yeah. Yeah.
And then the stopping, it can get better.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
exactly. They're saying, just say, okay, I'm done. This is good enough. And then they're saying, through the enough, everything else. It's like the minute you say enough, a door opens you never even saw before. And so I love that you're calling right now, because if ever this was a great moment to harvest that and to do that, it would be in this experience of energy. So thank you, my love, for modeling the November energy already so beautifully. And you've got a lot of protection around you. So you're gonna be just fine.
Thank you,
honey. You're welcome. Mwah. I love you, honey. Namaste.
I love you too.
Bye, baby. Namaste.
Bye, baby.
Bye. Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love this.
Yeah, and it's a potent point, because
Could you say it? Potent potables? We all know what I'm talking about.
it's
right?
a potent, powerful point
Exactly.
that we can pontificate about a little longer.
We could.
No, but here's the deal. When does the suffering end?
Right. I love that question.
When
Right?
does the chaos end in your
Best.
life?
And when does the drama end? Because
the drama.
so many, and guys, this, so many beautiful beings who are on their spiritual journey are addicted to drama. And that drama addiction is literally the food of the third and fourth dimension that will keep you from ever breaking really free. It will always just give you enough, always just give you enough, but you'll never quite break free because your adrenaline, your physical body is tied into a fix or a hit from the chaos and the drama and the engagement. Why do you think it was so easy to enslave an entire planet with media? Because it's a physical addiction. It is an adrenaline addiction. So how do you break free of an adrenaline addiction? Well, you start experiencing what it's like to be free of density. Because I will share with you right now, from someone who was not type A, I was a triple plus personality, right? So the addiction was high. The minute you anchor into the true ascended state, nothing can ever compare to that. Your body actually relaxes and it doesn't need that fix anymore.
Yes. I say yes to that. The suffering stops, as Kira shared with our caller, when you say enough. And here's the thing. There's some practice enoughs. Sometimes we say enough from a place of desperation. I can't handle it.
And we change our mind 20 minutes later.
Or we say enough from a place of anger, as how dare you? You know, there is a middle ground when we're anchored in an empowered recognition of, I feel pretty complete with this self-hatred. I feel pretty complete with this self-doubt. I'm complete with these lessons. Enough. And it's clarity. It's that, that clarity of I'm very clear about this, and that place of when we say enough sets in motion a whole nother avenue of beingness. And that's the empowered, authentic state.
Enough, right? And so, hey, Shri, do we? Oh, we don't. Oh my gosh, this show goes
we're
so
just a minute away
fast.
from bye-bye.
I so want. I said, hey, Shri, and my iPad came up and Siri said, how can I help you?
Hey, Shri.
Yeah. Hey, Shri, that's kind of scary. All right, angels. Well, hey, we are so excited. This has just been the first of 3 parts. Make sure that you join us this Saturday, tfrlive.com for the audio, Explore the Mysteries, 1 p.m. Pacific, or join us at onenesstalkradio.com for video, audio, and chat, YouTube, official Shri and Kira, and Sunday at noon Pacific time. We're excited.
It's been a delight to be with you tonight, to have this conversation, to share these insights, and to feel your loving presence.
Hey, remember, guys, that we are all soul mirrors, are we not? And as we each gaze into the mirror of our divine nature, may this Mercury retrograde invite you into the higher realms of respect, remembrance, and recognition.
Much love.
Namaste.